everybody, how are you? Hope you're doing okay. I know it's a bit of a strange time and we're missing you all loads. I know you've been really busy with all your learning you've been doing at home because the teachers have been telling me all about it. I'm going to share with you one of my favourite books from when I was a tiny little girl, and I'm going to set you a writing challenge to do on it, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. I've got my very own email address which I'll share with you later, and it'll be on Facebook so you can send me all your fantastic writing. Now, like I said, this was one of my favourite books when I was very little. Some of you might have read it. It's called On the Way Home. I'm going to read you some of this book, and then I'm going to give you the challenge that you're going to be doing at home. Okay, here we go. Claire had a bad knee, so she set off home to tell her mum all about it. On the way home, Claire met her friend Abigail. "Look at my bad knee," said Claire. "How did you do it?" asked Abigail. "Well," said Claire, "there was a very big, bad wolf, and it came sneaking up behind me as I passed by, and it tried to take me home for its tea. But I screamed for help, and a woodcutter came and chased the wolf away, and the wolf dropped me, and that's how I got my bad knee." "Gosh," said Abigail. Now, as I'm reading, I expect there's some of you already thinking about the Year 2 toolkit, because when I read this, I could see lots of our toolkit in this writing, so that's a little clue about what you're going to be doing in a minute. Straight away, I can see a contraction, I can see an exclamation mark. We're going to be talking some more about that in a moment. Then Claire met her friend Paul. "Look at my bad knee," said Claire. "How did you do it?" asked Paul. "Well," said Claire, "there was a vast flying saucer, and it came zooming out of the sky and tried to carry me off to a distant planet. But I struggled free just in time and fell crashing to the earth far below. And that's how I got my bad knee." "Good gracious me," gasped Paul. Then Claire met her friend Amajit. "Look at my bad knee," said Claire. "How did you do it?" asked Amajit. "Well," said Claire, "there was a huge hungry crocodile, and it came lumbering out of the canal as I passed by, and it tried to pull me into the water. But I crammed a piece of wood between its jaws, and it was so cross that it knocked me over with its tail, and that's how I got my bad knee." "How dreadful," said Amajit. Then Claire met her friend Robert. "Look at my bad knee," said Claire. "How did you do it?" asked Robert. "Well," said Claire, "there was a big fat snake, and it came slithering out of a tree, and it wrapped itself around me, and it squeezed and it squashed. But I tickled it until it couldn't stop laughing, and it dropped me, and that's how I got my bad knee." "I say," gasped Robert. Now, I'm going to stop reading there, but if I tell you there's another 1, 2, 3, 4 different ways until we find out the real way she hurt her knee, I bet you can guess what your challenge is going to be. Your challenge is going to write your own version of how Claire hurt her bad knee. You can present it as a comic, you can present it as part of a story and do a picture to go with it, but it's not going to be that simple because, of course, we need to use the Year 2 toolkit. Now, if you were here, we'd do what we normally do, which is where I go, "Right, what's the Year 2 toolkit?" and I say your name, and you tell me all of the Year 2 toolkit, but I know you won't have forgotten it, and we're going to come to that in a minute. I had a little think of some other ways that Claire could have hurt her bad knee. Now, I know you can think of some even better ones than I've come up with, but I just wanted to give you a little idea in case you were thinking, how else? So, at the moment, we've seen a wolf, we've seen an alien, we've seen a crocodile, and we've seen a big fat snake. I was thinking, and some of you clever people might look at the front cover and realise there are other ways, but I want you to think of your own ways. I've had a think myself, but I know you can come up with some much better ways. Perhaps a bully got hold of Claire. What about a T-Rex or a pterodactyl? A huge golden eagle? I even thought about using some of the characters from another story, like the Gruffalo, for instance, or even a wizard. But you don't have to use any of those. You can come up with your own fantastic ideas. But I know that sometimes it can be tricky to think of things. So perhaps you might want to use a couple of those or use some of your own. So you're going to write your own version of how you think Claire hurt her bad knee. You can do it with one character, one character or 2 characters or even more. Write your own book. But what I've done, if we have a look here, just get my cameraman to move around, is I've had a go at writing my own version of the story, a part of the story. Now, normally we'd do this together, wouldn't we? But you're not in my house, which makes me very sad. So I've had to have a go. Before we read that, we're going to remind ourselves of the Year 2 toolkit. I know you won't have forgotten these. So, exclamation marks. Sorry. Exclamation marks, question marks, interesting sentence starters, contractions, suffix words, adjectives, comma lists, don't forget good handwriting, conjunctions, and our new one that we were working on, the add, the change, and the correct. Don't forget that when you've finished, you're not just going to go finished. You're going to have a look. Is there something else you can add to make that better? Is there something you can change if you've used a bit of a boring adjective? Could you improve it? And is there something you need to correct, like a spelling or a punctuation mark? So when I look at your writing and you send it in to me and I'm so excited to see it, I should be able to see, either in a different coloured pen or a pencil, or just be able to see that you've done some of that. Now, I know you're going to use all of that in your writing because you're fantastic. Now, what we're going to do is what we normally do. Am I still in it? Mm-hmm. Good. What we're going to do is what we normally do. We normally write this together and then we go through it with the toolkit and see if we've managed to include everything. But obviously, you're not here, so we'll just have to have a look at my one and check that we've got the toolkit in it. So to start with, I'm just going to read it out like I would. Then we're going to go back and have a look at it section by section and see where we've got some of this toolkit in here. Are we ready? As she stumbled sadly along, Claire met her amazing friend Sam. "Look at my bad knee, it's agony," mumbled Sam. "How did you do it?" asked Sam. "Well, there was a huge, terrifying lion that escaped from the zoo and it pounced on me as I passed by. Terrifyingly, it tried to drag me back to its enclosure for its delicious dinner. Amazingly, I managed to tug hard on its golden mane. Then I escaped from its razor-sharp claws, and that's how I got my bad knee." "What a kerfuffle!" exclaimed Sam. Put that word in because I know some of you will be missing me saying it every 2 seconds. So let's have a look at this writing. Let's see, if you were here again, I'd be saying your names and you'd be telling me all about where the toolkit is in here. But I'm just going to have to do it. It makes me miss you even more. Now, straight away, I can see an interesting sentence starter. I haven't just put Claire was walking or whatever. I put something interesting that's going to get my reader thinking, oh, that's how she walks. So she's stumbling. Why is she stumbling? Oh, she's stumbling because she's got a bad knee. Okay, sadly, straight away, clever Mrs. Brown, thank you Mrs. Brown, has managed to use a suffix word almost immediately. Well done. As she stumbled sadly along, Claire met her amazing friend, Sam. Now, I could have just put met her friend. That would have been a bit boring. Remember, I'm trying to paint a picture in my reader's mind all of the time. Look at my bad knee. It's agony. I can almost hear you in my house saying, look, contraction. It is. But I've got my apostrophe there, which makes it a contracted word, which means it's a Year 2 toolkit. And agony, a really interesting word. Now, I would ask you what it meant and you'd tell me, but just in case you don't know, agony means really, really painful. I could have put it's painful, but that would have been a bit boring. So I put an even more interesting word. Oh, well done. I've managed to include an exclamation mark almost straight away. Fantastic. Mumbled Claire. Mumbled? Oh, I'm impressed even myself here. I could have just put said. But it's showing something about Claire that she's just going, so she's not very happy. Look at my bad knee, it's agony. How did you do it? Asked Sam. Oh, straight away, question mark. Well, there was a huge, terrifying lion. I'm impressed. I've got huge and terrifying for my adjectives. And look what I haven't forgotten. Haven't forgotten my comma list. I don't expect you to forget it either. I could have put humongous, I could have put scary, all of those words that we talk about all the time to build that picture. that had escaped from the zoo and it pounced on me as I passed by. Now, pounce is a really interesting word because it means jumping and that she wasn't ready for it. So it wasn't like she saw the lion. It obviously came out from behind a bush or something and pounced on her as I passed by. Oh, don't forget, capital I. I know you think stop nagging, but don't forget. Terrifyingly, oh my goodness, I'm so impressed with myself, but I know you can do even better. Straight away, another suffix. It tried to drag me back to its enclosure for its delicious dinner. I could have just tried to drag me back to its enclosure for dinner. Not for dinner, like they're going to be having dinner together, for its dinner. But I chose to put delicious in there, make it even more interesting. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm so impressed with myself. Imagine how good this could be if you were here to help me too. Amazingly, now the suffix word, I've realised I've used a lot of ly suffixes. Perhaps you can think of the other suffixes, the ment, the ness, amazement, kindness, all those ones we talk about a lot. Amazingly, I managed, my D's gone a bit funny, to tug hard on its golden mane. Then I escaped from its razor sharp claws. I know exactly what you're saying. I can hear you jumping up and down. Look, she's managed to put tug, which is interesting, much more interesting than pull, even though it means the same thing. She's managed to use golden for golden mane. She hasn't just put mane, because that's a bit boring. Then I escaped from its razor sharp claws. Now, I know some of you have been using that in your writing, because immediately, in my head as the reader, I can imagine how sharp they are and how terrifying. And that's what we're doing all the time, engaging our reader, trying to build a picture in their head. That's how I got my bad knee. Another contraction, so it should be that is how I got my bad knee. What a kerfuffle, exclaimed Sam. Bonus point for everybody if you can find a way to fit kerfuffle in your writing, because you know how much I love that word. And exclaimed, I could have put said, bit boring. I put exclaimed, and that means saying it like this. What a kerfuffle, exclaimed Sam. So, if we look at our toolkit, oh, are you going to stick? Yes, I managed to use exclamation marks, question marks. My sentence starters were quite interesting. There were some contractions, some suffix words, but really they were just ly, so I'd like to be thinking about ment and ness. There were some adjectives, I did a good job with that. Comma list, oh my goodness me, I've forgotten it. I'd have to go back. Oh no, I did put a 1 comma in, didn't I? Huge, terrifying. So I put 1 in, but really I like to have 3 for a comma list. So that could be something I could work on. Handwriting's okay, especially when I'm working from home. Conjunctions, well, there was a then, yeah. And, got some conjunctions in there too. And add, change, correct. That's what I would be doing now if I was you. So I would be going back and thinking, forgotten my comma list. I need to have a different type of suffix in there. Did I spell that correctly? Have I got the right punctuation? What could I add to make this better? What could I change? And what could I correct that's perhaps not right? So this is your challenge. I know you can do an even better job than me. You can either choose to write it like I have and maybe do some pictures to go with it. You can choose to set it like a comic strip, like in the book. If we remember in the book, we've got it almost like a comic strip. But if you're doing a comic strip, the writing still needs to be really good too. I don't mind how you do it. You can do 1 page, you can do 2 pages, you could do an entire book about you walking home. I don't mind. But I'd like over the next week to be wowed by all the writing that comes in. And I would like to see you trying to use the toolkit. You don't have to use all of it. If I can read it and it's engaging to me, absolutely fandabby daisy. Even your grown-ups might like to have a go at writing their own version. If anyone can fit the word kerfuffle in, even better. Now, on Facebook, Mrs. Cornish, I think, is going to make sure that this email address is up. So it's all lowercase, year 2 classes 2020@gmail.com. This is where you're going to be putting Mrs. Darby's learning and my learning that I set you to do. And I can't wait to go on there, hopefully tomorrow, sometime next week, and see 53, I think that's how many children there are in our year group, pieces of writing with pictures, with comics, that tells me how Claire could have hurt her bad knee, but it's not that simple. Toolkit, please, toolkit, please. And I know there are some fantastic artists in our year group as well that might like to put some illustrations alongside it. Right, if you've got any questions about any of that, you can email this email and I'll get back to you. Any problems at all with any of this, then just let me know via here. I can't wait to hear from you all, and good luck with it all. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic, and I look forward to replying to you as soon as you've done it. Okay, good luck. Lovely to speak to you. See you later. Bye.